The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The NFL schedule officially comes out tomorrow, but we know the Jets' opponent for the London game. That and much more, including a New York Knicks win over the Celtics in Game 4 last night. Robby Sabo is going to join us to talk about all that and more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Here on a Tuesday, the New York Knicks are one win away from their first trip to the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. I promise we will spend a ton of time this morning talking about the Knicks because they are uniting the tri-state area of the city right now. And I will say this, last night being there was an out-of-body experience. So fortunate, so grateful. And the only environment I could compare what the Garden sounded like last night was the opener for the Jets in 2023, Aaron Rodgers' debut. I mean, last night, it was incredible what that building sounded like. And the only better environment I've ever been in was Rodgers' first ever game as a Jet. With that said, let's say hello to the co-founder of JetsXFactor.com, also runs the website KnicksXFactor.com. Robby Sabo joins us now. Hello, Robby. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Did you thank Jim for the tickets?
Mr. Dolan was great. You know, he was kind enough to put me right next to Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. You know, he gave me a towel as well.
Cardi B, Stephon Diggs. Apparently,
he got booed, by the way. Shout out to the Jet fans in the building that were booing.
They really?
They cheered
Nice.
Cardi B, and then when the camera panned to Stephon Diggs and people realized, oh, he's a Patriot now, people started booing, which was great.
They were cheering Cardi B, though? That's suspect.
She got a little pop. Yeah, she got a little pop from the crowd.
That's suspect. But, you know, I digress. It's, yeah, dude, you know, Knicks fans who've been around for a while, diehards, even young diehards, excuse me, they've been through 2 decades of hell. There's a path forward, and that's the crazy thing. But you don't want to think about the path forward because you're a crazy bastard in your own mind. So it's torture right now. I mean, it's happy torture, but it's torture.
Man, it's just surreal that a team that was, you know, a 9-1, 10-1 underdog going into this series now has a legitimate path to reach the NBA Finals. We'll spend plenty of time talking about that, but let's get to the breaking news portion of the show. We knew the Jets were going to have a London game. We didn't know the opponent. A bunch of different opponents were speculated on, but it is official. It will be the Jets and the Denver Broncos Sunday, October 12th. That is week 6 of the NFL season in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Same place that the Jets played the Vikings last year. Last year, that game was in week 5. This year, the game is 1 week later. It's in week 6 of the season. So Aaron Glenn against his mentor, Sean Payton. Robby, your reaction to Jets Broncos as the team for the Jets in London?
It just always seems like it's Denver at some point over the last three, maybe 4 years, right? Denver's always that pivotal moment. Breece Hall, AVT, a few years ago going down. You got everyone's favorite offensive coordinator, you know, coming back against Peyton, Hackett. So it's, you know, just one of those faux Seminole moments for the Jets, and it's Denver again.
Last year being in London, I was blown away by how many incredible Jet fans came to the game from all over Europe. It wasn't just Americans like me flying out there to go and see the Jets. The Jets fan base in the UK, the Jets fan base all over Europe really was remarkable to see in person. So for those of you who are on the fence about potentially making the trip, I recommend it. Make sure you guys check out the Gangrene UK fan club, the Green Smoke fan club. I posted a tweet on my X account at Jake Asman where you could follow along because they'll have info on different meetups and things going on. I'm hoping to be able to make it out there again. I just don't have my work schedule for the fall yet for ESPN, so I can't commit at this point, but I recommend it. Robbie's co-host, Wayne Corbett, showed up to the Jake Asman Gangrene UK party that we did at the Hippodrome Casino last year, so it was a blast, man. Everything was great until the game, which is typically how these Jet road trips go. So hopefully this year, the trip is great for everyone that makes that trip, and the game is actually a great result because last year, oh my God, was that an excruciatingly painful game to be at.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, it's not like they were destroyed early. It felt that way, but just to have it end that way, it foreshadowed a lot to come the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was great what the Jets did as far as setting up like a pub for all the fans to gather at, and they had a couple former players like the aforementioned Wayne Corbett, the Bernius Coles. You had Tony Richardson there, and it was awesome. And let me say this, that stadium that the Jets are playing at, Tottenham Hotspur, is insane. This was the photo, by the way, last year from the party.
How many does it seat? It's really huge, right?
It definitely seats less than MetLife. I don't remember the exact number. I do remember it being beautiful. And the tickets relative to what I thought I was going to have to pay were not crazy. I thought I was going to pay a lot more. Here's the photo of the Gangrene UK guys, the Green Smoke guys. These guys are awesome. They're so passionate about the Jets, and God, do they deserve a winning team? Because think about it. It's bad enough we got to watch the Jets, in our normal time zones here. These guys are getting up in the middle of the night to watch this god-awful franchise. So they deserve a winning team. I loved London last year. I recommend, if you can make the trip, I recommend you go because it was definitely worth the flight and the hotels and everything to get a chance to experience that with so many great fans.
Yeah, UK. I mean, thinking about countries with Jets fandom, no other country rivals UK, right? Germany, there's a pocket of Germany fans. I know that. Australia, but I think that's about it. I can't think of any other big time pockets that I could think of.
By the way, shout out to a Dark Knight Steve and our guy Joe, who's on the right of the photo there, pictured here. Just an awesome time a year ago. So I am hoping that the Jets at least win that game. I don't know how many wins the Jets are going to have in 2025, but if you're flying all the way there, hopefully you get to see a win. Urbina says that 63,850 is the max capacity of Tottenham, which checks out.
It's pretty. I mean, listen, MetLife. People forget MetLife is monstrous in terms of seating. It's do they still lead the NFL or are they number 2? There's another stadium that's a little bit bigger, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
They're definitely in the top 3. I don't know if they're still number 1.
Yeah.
If only it was actually a good stadium, what a concept that would
be. So if you had the power to go back to the Meadowlands, I won't call it by the real name for the Jets fans out there who hate that. Just by a snap of a finger, would you do it or would you not?
I mean, Giant Stadium wasn't good either. It was it wasn't the Jets Stadium at all. It's MetLife.
That's the problem. Like it had the ambiance, it had the noise, it had the old school feel, but you also had to deal with the big blue sign. You had to deal with a lot of foreign stuff.
Red seats for Giants red. Yeah,
that's the problem. Like the environment.
Go back to Shea. Rebuild Shea.
Dude, I mean, obviously, I can't include that. But it's like it had the environment, but it was just such a foreign stadium. So that's a good question for Jets fans.
Before we get into the Knicks, I want to remind everyone that our raffle prize this week, our top prize, is a signed Jalen Brunson jersey. It's the first time we've done a top prize that's not Jet related, but we're rallying around the New York Knicks playoff run right now. So get the membership or send in the right super chat to be eligible. Aaron Glenn signed jerseys, prize 2. Prize 3 is a signed Curtis, my favorite Martin, Hall of Fame inscription jersey. So those are the raffle prizes. Let's talk about the rest of the schedule here. But first, the Jets, I believe, will have the option as the team playing in London to take the bye immediately after if they want it. That'd be week 7. Would you take the bye if you're Aaron Glenn?
I think so. because if you don't take it, then it's up to chance. And when did the bye start these days with the schedule? Is it week 4 or 5?
I think week 4 or 5 it starts. Yep.
Yeah. So after 7, I mean, you're cutting it. If, as a coach, I would want it right smack dab in the middle, as close to the middle as possible. So yeah, I think I would take it because you get it in week 8. It's close to the middle. It's not perfect, but if you don't take it, then you're leaving it up to chance. And, unless you're the Dallas Mavericks, it might not work out.
I think ultimately, if you're Aaron Glenn, well, you want your bye week right smack in the middle of the season. Week 7 is, I think, not the worst situation. It's not halfway, but it's not that far away from being halfway, if that makes sense. Might be good for a first-year coach to get kind of a reset after doing international travel and gear up.
The game is week 6 or week 7?
Week 7.
Okay, so the bye would be week 8.
Sorry. Actually, it's week 6, so the bye would be week 7.
Ah, shoot. Okay, that's a little different, but still, I'd probably do it.
I would. Now, I think the other rule is if you don't take the bye, don't you get to pick the opponent?
I do not know.
Or have they changed that?
I do not know.
Yeah.
Man,
I'd take the bye though, regardless.
Where my mind goes is, man, the NFL. They've never met a penny they don't like with these international games. Did I see something that they're going to play in Madrid? Who's playing in Madrid?
They are playing in Madrid this year. They are playing in Brazil. They're playing in Ireland. They're playing in Germany.
Holy moly! Holy smokes! It's the American sport, folks. Everyone loves it. It'll never. Never say never, but it'll never be an international sport yet. Fandom is definitely international. That's for damn sure.
The Vikings are going to be the first NFL team to play back-to-back international games in different countries. They play the Steelers in the first ever regular season game in Dublin on Sunday, September 28th. And then the Vikings travel to London to play the Browns on Sunday, October 5th.
Had to be Pitt in that game. It just had to be with Rooney. There's no way around it. So that makes sense. Mini, I don't know why it's mini, but man, they're going a little. I don't know what they're going to do. When they go to 18 games, it makes sense to have the international games. See, the NFL always has a strategy. Okay, we extend to 17. It's an odd number. It looks weird, but guess what? We use one of those weeks as the international neutral type game. It goes down in the books as a home or away game, but it's kind of neutral. And then what are they going to do when they get to 18? Because I'm sure they will get to 18 eventually. Go to 2 international games. It's getting insane, folks.
I mean, I have said it. I think they go to 18 games. You add a second bye. I think that should be the case. Every team has a first half bye, a second half bye.
They absolutely should do that and then push the Super Bowl back to President's Day weekend. I mean,
not all of us. I work in sports, but most people wouldn't have work Monday after the Super Bowl, which would be great.
Yeah, that's definitely the formula. And, if you're the Players Association, you just don't fight it. I mean, yes, fight it, but fight it understanding it's going to happen and get what you can while allowing it to happen.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Gift channel memberships to be entered in the raffle. Shout out to Devin, who's a huge Knicks Jet fan, being the first person today to enter the raffle for the signed Jalen Brunson jersey. Devin, this is for you.
Hey, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Hell yeah. Also, Robbie, I want to pull up the list of opponents because by process of elimination, we can eliminate the Dallas Cowboys as the New York Jets Week 1 opponent. We can now officially eliminate the Denver Broncos as the New York Jets Week 1 opponent. Take your guess. Week 1, Jets play who, knowing that it can't be at least 2 of those teams on the screen there I mentioned?
Broncos, and who was the other one? I'm sorry.
It can't be Denver, and it can't be Dallas.
Dallas, that's right. Man. New England.
Home or away?
Away.
New England away. That wouldn't be the worst way to do it.
They usually play in Foxborough later in the season. That's been the trend. But I'm throwing stuff at the wall here. I kind of see Vrabel in Foxborough. They've been home. No, did they open last year at home?
The Jets last year opened in San Fran on Monday night.
That's right. I was there. Jeez, losing my mind. Could be home, but I'll go Pats.
I think the Jets would be better off playing like the Panthers at home early or the Saints on the road week 1. That'd be awesome. That's a winnable game because I think this regime really needs to get off to a good start. So I would love Carolina week 1 at home, New Orleans week 1 in New Orleans. But part of me still thinks Rodgers and the Steelers at the Jets could be the play if the NFL is comfortable just taking the plunge and thinking that ultimately Rodgers is going to play and he's going to sign with Pittsburgh at some point.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know what's crazy too? It's already the NFC South. That was the start of the Saleh regime. Week 1 in Carolina on the road. How time flies, man. That's 4 years ago already. Like we're already back to the NFC South. I just can't believe it. My God. And then obviously we got the NFC East. So it's no, I'm sorry. Who's the 17th? Who's the NFC opponent? Their 5th NFC opponent. Can you put
It's
that back
Dallas.
up? That's right. It's Dallas. So, yeah, dude, it's crazy how time flies. It felt like yesterday when Saleh, Zach Wilson were opening up the Jets regime in Carolina, and he threw 2 touchdowns to Corey Davis. Didn't start out well, but Zach threw those 2 touchdowns in the second half, and 0-1 they went.
I actually left that game somewhat encouraged with Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
I thought he
me
got
too.
better as the game went on. And we're like,
And
okay.
he was good that summer. He was good that summer, too.
And then Belichick broke him in week 2. And the rest is history.
Put him in half. And Saleh didn't know how to handle it, and Wilson didn't know how to handle it, and they just went into a shell. And you can't play unafraid. If you look at Steph Curry, look at the Knicks, look at basketball, you have to have that confidence. First half, Knicks had no confidence, were hesitant. Second half, different story.
Comments, questions, super chats. Cut the line. V-Man says the Jets haven't had their own stadium since 61. Thanks for the super chat. Look, they should have their own stadium.
You can call Shea theirs in a way. I mean, if it's a different sport, you could call it yours.
I guess, but it's still not really. It was the Mets.
It was, but like a different world.
It was more the Jets than MetLife, that's for sure.
Yes, 100%.
The Bat Fella says, bring me Rodgers week 1. I want the smoke. I get saying that now, but I'll say what I said yesterday. If the most Jet-like thing ever to happen to us was Rodgers getting hurt on the 4th play, the other most Jet-like thing is he comes back and shreds us. And I just don't want to deal with that early. All right? Like, let's not. All right? Let's deal with it later in the year. Let's get off to a good start this season. That's what I want.
Is the pick game home or away? It's home, right?
It's home. That's why I think they'll put the Jets in primetime for it.
Yeah. That's it's got to be that. Prime time, if it's Rodgers, that's going to be very risky. I think it's going to be too risky for the NFL to go prime time with the Jets without Rodgers signing. But if he was there, that would absolutely be the game.
But if you were going to go prime time with the Jets, you're better off doing it early before anyone knows that if they're bad officially yet, because you got interest with Fields against his old team. You have the New York media market. And remember, the year Rodgers got hurt, they still had massive ratings for all those Jets primetime games. The Jets were one of the highest rated teams in the league that year. So I still could see the NFL saying Fields versus Pittsburgh early in the year, New York market, legacy franchise in Pittsburgh. It's still worth them putting that on a Sunday night or Monday night to start the year.
Yes. Well, I think it's a great bet. It'll be early in the year in primetime, just not week 1. Like week 2, week 3, week 4 in one of those spots is good money, I think.
Anthony is the first to get the 5 spot today. He's pumped up about the Knicks.
Hey, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Anthony's memberships went to Big Rush 2112, JR, Anthony Vargas, NC Green, and Who Dat Fam, all receiving channel memberships. Dan, the Jet fan, I will attend all 3 games in Florida. Love that, Dan. Marcus with a super chat and Asmaniac 1. Glad we got another game here in the UK. Feels like a reward for putting up with the misery of watching 1 a.m. games with Zach Wilson as our quarterback. I'm telling you, man, the Jet fans that show up and support this team internationally, it's incredible given how bleak it has been for so long. And just like the Knicks have turned it around, hopefully the Jets are on their way to doing the same, man. Need that badly.
Hey, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Yeah, I used to think it was always strange in my head. Like, oh man, if you live in California, you got to watch the first game at 10 a.m. That felt weird to me. I can't imagine UK in different countries.
Curly says only positive of the London game is that it starts at 9:30 a.m. Get the misery over with before lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I disagree with that though, because I like being able to watch the other games, and if the Jets had already lost, I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah, you're stewing the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So it's the only truly free moments you have as a objective fan is if the Jets have a bye or playing on a different day. If it's Thursday or Monday, let's be honest. Like that's the only time you could really feel free.
Ladies and gentlemen, comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We're going to get into the Knicks here momentarily, but want to make sure we address everything going on with the schedule. If you missed the announcement this morning, the Jets' official London opponent is the Denver Broncos in Week 6 of the season, and I highly recommend people making that trip if you could do it, because it was an absolute blast last year being out there. With that said, Robbie.
Yes, sir.
If the New York Jets season started today, based on the list of opponents here and the stat I'm about to give you, the New York Jets have the 7th easiest schedule based on 2024 records of their opponents, a winning percentage of .460, 460. What would you project the record to be? Because yesterday, Jay Gruden said the Jets are winning 3 games or less.
Nah, dude, I think 500. I really think, 7-10, 8-9, at the height, 9-8. I think it's going to be rough early, but Glenn, the patience there, it might be a little rough early. It's going to be tough. I grant you that, but I think this could be, and this is projected to be a round 500 team, maybe 7-10. I don't buy the 3-win stuff. It's not what I'm seeing right now. The roster is much more talented than that, and the coaching so far, in terms of, listen, we haven't seen strategy. We don't know what they're deploying. I mean, we know what they're deploying, but we haven't seen it in practice yet. The accountability, the leadership, all that stuff doesn't scream to me 3-win team. There's no way.
If they went out there and won 3 games or less, they're picking near the top of the draft. They probably have anywhere from the 1st to the 3rd pick. I want a new head coach. I just want to be out in front of it. Like this team, it'd be unacceptable for this team to be that bad. And if that's the case, you're taking a quarterback next year in a loaded quarterback class. I need an experienced coach or an offensive coach. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen.
It would have to be a complete disaster for that to happen. Obviously, but that would be a tough pill to swallow. Like they're a disaster. The coach is a disaster, and they're not going to move on because they feel like they have to do 2 years. I mean, think about that. That's far worse than if you're waking up a Boston fan with the Tatum injury. I mean, it's just miserable.
Let me say this as we transition to the Knicks. I want to make it very clear. No one wants to see Jason Tatum get hurt. Like that sucks. But
were you cheering in your seat, Jake?
Absolutely not. No, I want to beat the Celtics at full strength, but the idea that, Tatum got hurt and that changed the game. The Knicks were going to win that game when he went down. There was 2 minutes and like 50 seconds to go, and the Knicks were up 9. Like it was over. Brunson went off in that 3rd quarter. Bridges was incredible. Hey, Gary, thank you for Mikal Bridges, by the way. I mean,
Gary's a Nets fan.
Huge Nets fan who's like, the Nets won the Bridges trade already, declaring victory before the playoffs started.
That makes sense. He's a Nets. Yeah, okay, it's coming together. Yep.
But anyway. No one wanted to see Tatum get hurt, but the Knicks last year were robbed of a trip to the conference finals because of all the injuries, right? They didn't have Randall for the entire playoff run. OG got hurt in game 2 of the 2nd round. Hart had the abdominal injury he was playing through. They had Mitchell Robinson on one leg. Like everyone remembers that, and no one gave the Knicks a break. So it's unfortunate, but it's a war of attrition, and the Knicks right now, where are all the minutes police killing Thibodeau? They're the healthiest team left, knock on wood. But last night was incredible, Robbie. Let me just say this. It was an out-of-body experience watching that, especially the 3rd quarter run. The Garden all night was waiting for that run, and Brunson just took it upon himself, went into God mode, and carried this team, and everyone kind of rallied around that. And, man, he had that game. We were waiting for that game. He had the moments in game 1 and game 2. But he said, we're not losing tonight, boys. And he's the best thing in my lifetime as a fan to happen to this Knicks team. And I think it's fair to say this. There will never be another Knick that will wear number 11 after
Never.
Jalen Brunson retires.
100%. He will join the rafters with all the greats like Mike Richter and Brian Leach and Ewing, obviously, and all those. Dude, I tweeted it, and I think I sent it to you during the game. I wasn't really worried about the defense early because it just looked like they weren't focused. In certain spots, yes, Tatum was hunting the matchup. He was bombing them from deep. The step back, they were tearing the nets on fire, but I wasn't really worried because they weren't really crazy focused. See, the way Boston plays, it's antithetical to everything basketball defense. Take an outside shot that's ridiculous like that. Okay, go ahead. I mean, that's normal. But what you got to do against Boston is get up in their grill, extend the structure out, and dare them to beat you off the dribble. And, Tatum hit a couple impossible, elbow shots in the second half, but that's what you want to have happen. And then eventually, they started doing that and extending the D out and daring them to beat them off the dribble. And then they were getting in passing lanes, and that's what you have to do. And they had the focus coming out, but Brunson started it, Jake. Like you said, man, he got to his spots and he was drilling them. And then once Brunson went out, how good was Bridges?
Oh my goodness.
He was unbelievable.
And you know what one of the bigger moments of the game was? So Thibodeau gave him a lot of credit. He stuck with the entire
I don't want to hear Thibodeau slander anymore. It's enough, Knicks fans. Dude, he turned this team around before Brunson got here. Enough.
And look at the amount of players that got better under his watch. Jalen Brunson wasn't this until Thibodeau got here. I mean, Randall wasn't Randall before Thibodeau started coaching him. All these guys have improved. And you're preaching to the choir on this show. But I thought one of the bigger moments of the game last night was when Tibbs went with the starters for the entire third quarter. And they had to give Brunson a bit of a break at the beginning of the fourth. And they still were able to win those minutes without Brunson out there. And they led by 3 when he came back in with around 9 minutes to go to close this one out. And you mentioned Bridges. He was awesome. OG hit some huge shots. Like, that was a total team effort. What Mitchell Robinson provides energy-wise and on the glass, you're just eating Kristaps Porzingis for lunch underneath, getting all these big boards. Total team effort, man. The Knicks were the better team last night, and they went out there and they took it to the champs, and they backed up the 2-0 lead by not gagging it away at home. And now, not over yet. Boston still championship team. They're still 5-point favorites I saw in this game tomorrow. But at 3-1, you'll take your chance having to win just 1 over the next 3, put them away. And the Knicks right now, you don't want to look too far ahead, Robbie, but as you were alluding to, this is the first time in my lifetime rooting for the team where there is actually a legitimate, viable path to get to an NBA Finals and have a legit chance to win the whole thing.
Yeah, and home court. If it's Indy, if it indeed turns out to be Indy, with Cleveland messed up with injuries. But again, Bridges, they were running actions for Bridges specifically once Brunson went out of the game. And I think that was key. And I said it in the Nick X Slack channel. They were so hesitant with the ball in the first half. They were in their own heads. They were not getting the whistle. I mean, I'm sure the crowd was all over the officials. I heard some Bronx jeers at some point. Boston was not getting called for anything early.
Well, in the first half, it was 13-0 in free throw disparity till the last minute and a half when Brunson got to the line twice.
Yeah, it was insane. And when that happens, you see the Knicks players, it's not unique to the Knicks. It's a lot of basketball teams. They were so frustrated. They were in their own heads. Karl-Anthony Towns is forcing it. Hart was hesitating to shoot. Everyone was hesitating with the ball, and you can't do that. And I said in the Slack, they need an unapologetic dog right now to just take it upon himself to do his thing. And Brunson did that to start the second half, and then Bridges kept it going. And then at that point, the defense started doing the right thing with focus because the energy was there. So, Bridges, tip my cap. He was and by the way, they didn't get much from the bench. Campaign was like 0 for 3 from the 3-point land. McBride was okay. I mean, he always has great D along the perimeter, but not much from the bench other than Mitch. So that those 6 guys really got it done.
Just an unbelievable performance in the second half. And this is what 7th Avenue looked like last night, leaving the Garden, Robbie. I can't even imagine what New York City would do if this team could get to a finals, man. I mean, for so many Knicks fans, this is the best it's been. Last night was the best Knicks win that I've ever experienced. I mean, second round against the defending champs. Tatum is in God mode in that first half. And the superstar that the Knicks fan has been waiting our entire life for is a guy who's barely above 6 foot, who's a second round pick, who's the son of one of the assistant coaches, and is carrying them doing things that we haven't seen since Kobe and Michael Jordan as far as playoff scoring and clutch time scoring. Just, it's amazing, man. And like Brunson is so good. He's become Mariano-like for all the Yankee fans out there, where you just expect it now to happen. And it's not normal what he's doing. It's not normal for him to be this good. I mean, there was a stat I tweeted out last night. In Brunson's last 12 playoff losses, the Knicks have rebounded the following game. They're 9-3. And he scored 30 plus in 9 of those games, 40 plus in 4 of them. He had 39 last night. Like, it's just, that is the definition of a superstar. And we are so lucky that we have this guy, because he gives you a chance against anybody. And that was proven again last night.
Yeah. And, you know, Tatum at 42, I think. Brunson at 39. Neck and neck. Yet Brunson's 39 is so much more quiet than Tatum's 42. It feels like. And why? Because he's not shooting bombs. He's not going crazy. I mean, yeah, he could shoot threes, but he's methodical in trying to find his spots. And it's so much more workmanlike and quiet that it's fascinating to me how he gets it done. He uses his body. It is, and it's a win for the old school basketball people over the analytics nerds. It really is. And I think if the Knicks keep this going, that's going to be a huge trend and huge narrative moving forward.
It's just unreal. I thought Cat played really well, especially down the stretch with some shots. We mentioned OG, mentioned Bridges. I mean, Bridges really, other than Giancarlo Stanton, I can't think of recent New York athletes that have completely been able to do a 180 with what their reputation was and have flipped it as quickly as Mikal Bridges has. Because without him, they don't win last night. Without him, they don't get by the Detroit Pistons. They don't probably win the 2 games up in Boston. I mean, that's why they got him. F them picks. Them picks, man. I'll give the Nets even more picks if it means the Knicks could get to an NBA Finals.
And remember, he was not good in the first half. His shooting, he was short on everything. I don't know if he worked out legs the day before, but he was short on everything. And I think it had to deal with the hesitation the whole team had offensively. But it flipped. Once Brunson did his thing coming out of the second half, and then Tibbs started running plays with that action for Mikal. I always say Mikal, I don't know why. He hunted for his game, and he got it. And also, Karl-Anthony Towns, yeah, he does his thing offensively. Not great on D. Obviously, Tatum and everyone is going to go high pick and roll with the 5 to get Cat on him. His adjustments defensively on the ball were subtle, but they were there. Like, he got up and crowded the ball carrier, the ball handler and shooter. And so, you know, kudos to him too, because he adjusted and dared Tatum and those guys, Jaylen Brown, to beat him off the dribble, which they would, but he had help behind him.
That's just unreal, man. Mikal Bridges, by the way, got off to another slow start, right? 5 of 14.
Yeah.
He hit 7 of his final 10 shots, including 5 in a row at the beginning of the 4th. And some of that was when Brunson wasn't in the game. And as you brought up, they needed that, man. Total team effort last night. Brunson's going to get a tremendous amount of praise, and he should. But, you know, the path for the Knicks to do what they had to do to beat Boston is they needed their starting 5, which is supposed to be their advantage, to be able to just take over games offensively. They're not going to be a great defensive team when, you know, Brunson and Towns aren't great defenders. But if you're going to find a way to beat a team like Boston, you got to be able to put the ball through the hoop. They scored 70 points in the second half last night. Like, that's why they won. They offensively, that was the best they had played. You could make the case all throughout the postseason.
And OG, let's not forget OG, that hamstring early.
I got so scared. Good. It was like game 2 last year of the second round.
OG, I think OG is their second most valuable player still behind Brunson. That could be argued easily. I get it. But if he's out and he can't play, I don't feel good about their chances whatsoever. So the fact that he came back and didn't show any ill effects, monstrous, just huge.
Unreal. Unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is unreal. JYB in the raffle for 20. He's a Knicks fan.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, 7th Avenue, live last night.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
That game was insane. Hopefully the Jets could pick up the same energy that the Knicks have captured. It all starts with Dolan stepping back. Can Woody do the same after being graded as the worst owner in the league? I've used the comparison for a long time on this show. JYB, first off, thank you again for the super chat. We'll get you in the raffle for 20 with this one. To me, the biggest thing that has turned the Knicks around is Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau. Sure, you need some luck, of course, with some of the moves. And Brunson, no one could have imagined he'd be this good. But you hire the right people and then give them the resources to do it their way, it could turn around. I don't care who the owner is. Like, the idea that the Jets can never be good because of Woody, these same things we say now about Woody Johnson were said for far longer about Jim Dolan.
Yeah, it's coaching. And in basketball, in the NBA especially, not basketball, the NBA, coaching can't hold a candle to how important coaching is in the NFL. Yet Thibodeau, he didn't have Brunson. It was Derrick Rose. It was Quickly. Who else was on that team? Jeez. Randall. Obviously, Randall was the lead horse. But that first year with Thibodeau shocked the world during the COVID times. Or was it before COVID? I can't remember, man. All these years are jumbled together. It was after KD chose Brooklyn. How about that? 2019 with KD now. Such a distant memory, KD and Kyrie choosing Brooklyn. But yeah, if you have the right people, you hire the right leaders, and it trickles down. And from Tibbs to Brunson, that's why I laugh when just Knicks fans crush Thibodeau and say he's going to get fired and they can't win with him. He always gets the most out of his rosters. Like that Chicago roster, when you look at it, Derrick Rose, yes, he was the MVP. He wasn't as great without Thibodeau. Like, I firmly believe Thibodeau upped his game. Joakim Noah. Butler was a real young guy at the time. He wasn't Butler yet. So the teams he has had, he's gotten the most out of it. And I think that leadership, Rose and Thibodeau, is big time. And if Aaron Glenn could be that same dude, Jets fans are going to be happy.
And the thing with Tibbs that he never gets enough credit for is something I was alluding to earlier. Just guys get better under his watch. And he has his ways, and at times maybe you could say he's a little too stubborn with them, but it's been proven to work. And I'm not rooting for any injuries. You never want to see it. But all year, Cleveland was lauded for, having their guys on minutes limits, and same thing with the Thunder. And look at the amount of injuries in these playoffs for teams that tried the load management thing and tried to keep guys fresh. The Knicks are the healthiest team left, and they're built for these fourth quarters, playing over 40-plus minutes because they've done it all year. Tatum got hurt. It was a fluke play. Curry got hurt. The guy doesn't have a history of significant injuries. You look at Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell just getting hurt, just warming up at halftime the other night. I mean, there's so many examples of this throughout the playoffs. Like, you can't guard against injuries. Like, it's an inexact science. So I hope the people that always kill Tom Thibodeau for the minute stuff wake up and realize that how he coaches these guys in the regular season is why the Knicks are equipped to have a legitimate chance to get to an NBA Finals right now.
You hit it, dude. That's it. It's why are they always in a game? How did they make those comebacks in game 1 and 2? Conditioning. Basketball is such an effort sport. Hockey, I mean, I think hockey is even more of an effort sport, but they're neck and neck. And, you see the Knicks up by 20 or getting blown out, and the starters are still in the game, winding down the fourth quarter, and people are losing their minds. Why are they still in the game? Well, it's a mental thing. It's psychology. It's conditioning. And, as long as they stay healthy, I feel really good about their chances. But it's those little games that head coaches have to play. And for the Jets fans, the Jets-Knicks combo fan, Aaron Glenn is a student of those mental gymnastic games that Parcells used to play. So Glenn loves that stuff. He loves it. And I'm really fascinated. That's the one thing that's high on my list in terms of keeping track of, in terms of what Glenn does with his players. How does he play those games with them?
All Knicks fans who are Asmaniacs will be watching Game 5 together tomorrow night at American Whiskey, which is on West 30th Street and 7th Ave. It is a block from the Garden. So if you want to watch the Knicks with a bunch of crazy Asmaniacs, American Whiskey, I'll have a graphic I could post and share all the info, but they got drink specials. I'll be there. The owner, Hoosh, is a big listener of the show. He's the man. I was with him last night. Yeah, shout out to Hoosh.
My dude.
Great place to watch the game. So, and it's a block from the Garden. So if the Knicks win, you best believe we'll be running on 7th and celebrating with all these crazy Knicks fans who were doing what they do best last night as the Empire State Building was lit up orange and blue.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get better. It's close. As Boomer Esiason says, don't touch the money, but it's getting close. It's getting close to realistic scenarios to dream big.
Job not done. But you know what? We're fans and we're allowed to be excited because God does the Knicks fan certainly deserve it. Derek with a super chat. He cuts the line. Thoughts on the NFL adopting the NBA draft lottery? I don't want that at all. I like the NFL draft being the way it is. I wouldn't mess with it.
It's a good convo, man, because I go back and forth in terms of not specifically NFL versus lottery, but what is the best way to handle it? You know what I mean? If it's the NBA, see, each sport is different too. The NFL, every game is so precious. Every play is so precious. So you can get away with not having a lottery. You really can. Tanking is not a legitimate thing. So I would agree with you, Jake. I would not implement the lottery because you don't need it. You just don't need it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it ain't broke. For the NBA, I think going lottery is the only way.
Such BS. The Mavericks got the first pick last night. I mean, fire up every conspiracy theory you want. I mean, that is just absurd. Nico Harrison, the disgraced GM of the Mavericks, does not deserve Cooper Flag. That is a joke.
I'll tell you what. I agree with you, but I don't know if Luka's going to work out in LA. I'm not crazy. I'm not on the train that's crazy killing him for trading away Luka. I think he could have handled it a lot better.
He got one first-round pick for the guy.
I know. Listen, I'm not arguing that. He deserves the disgraced tagline. Just separate from that, I'm not the biggest Luka guy because I just don't think he handles his business the right way.
Well, he likes to eat. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
but he was still in the NBA Finals last year at the same weight. So,
yeah, I get it. I get it.
Dan with a $20 super chat. He's in the raffle for 5. Let's go, Knicks. I want that JB jersey. The JB jersey you're referring to is signed and authenticated, baby. It's our top prize in this week's ASMANIAC raffle. So gift away to be eligible. Jake, thank you both for all you do. Prayers for Tatum, but the game was over before the injury. Excited for the Jet season. Right? It looked like an Achilles, and Jet fans know all too well about that injury.
Yeah, when you're doing the Looney Tunes spin on the ground horizontally, it's not good.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the Knicks were winning that game anyway, and no one felt bad for the Knicks last year when their entire team was injured. It was 113-104 with 2:50 to go when Tatum got hurt. So the game was over.
Yeah, it was. Listen, I heard Alan Hahn this morning on a Greeny show saying you're crazy if you think it was over at that point. I mean, it wasn't officially over, but they had taken firm control. Like it was almost in the bag, 90% in the bag at that point.
Rick writes in, Jake, if we win the Knicks jersey, can we trade for something else? Rick, you're a Celtics fan, right? Then yes, you can. Sorry about Tatum. I'm not. I really hate seeing that. That sucks.
Yeah.
The Bat Fella checks in. The Brunson went to the next level after his meeting with the Big Fella. LOL. Bing bong. LFG. Revenge on Indy. Hell yeah, man. What a scenario for the Knicks. You get to finally stick it to the Celtics, and you get a shot if you get by Boston. Don't want to assume anything just yet. You get a chance to get revenge on Indiana with the Knicks. Knock on wood. Healthy this time going into that series.
Yeah, shout out to Francesa who did a podcast last night, and the sports pope himself.
I saw him at the game last night.
Did you see him? Yeah, he was talking about how he ran into so many people he knew. Timothy Chalamet. He said he was bragging about how
Joe Torre was there. I mean, there are the people who are there all the time, and then you have the people who just come out because it's like a big thing. I respect the celebrity Knicks fans that are there all the time and never left. Like Ben Stiller's a legitimate Knicks
You
fan.
gotta give it to Stiller.
Awesome.
Morgan, obviously.
Chalamet is awesome, by the way. He is as true of a Knicks fan as you're going to get. I have immense respect for that guy.
Yes, and Francesa, Mikey brought up a good point. You know, when Pat Riley was running the show, the Knicks were an event every time, and it lingered into the Van Gundy era for sure.
How are the gardeners at your house, Robbie?
You hear that?
Oh, I hear it.
Dude, the grass is like weeds. I gotta check for ticks on my dog. It's that bad.
Is that Beast Breaker cutting your lawn? He called in the other day on his lawnmower.
Did he really? Does he have a rider? He's got to have a rider.
He was pushing it. He was pushing the lawnmower.
Pushing the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Okay. The respect level goes up. But yeah, Riley, it was an event with Riley, and it lasted with Van Gundy, but it's kind of becoming that way again with Tibbs. Like, I was really young in 94. I was 11 or 12, but I was a nut. I was a crazy 11 or 12-year-old. And I love those teams because of how tough they were. It's different. The sport's different. The game is different today. But I'm starting to latch on because they are the anti-analytics guys. You know, they don't hunt for threes. They don't play the minutes police. And Thibodeau is kind of bringing that same stuff. By the way, where was Thibodeau last time they made the Eastern Conference Finals?
On the Knicks bench.
On the Knicks bench.
Love it. It's an amazing story. Rick Brunson, a part of the Knicks too. Jalen growing up around the team with Rick. That's
another thing. People want Thibodeau fired. Some Knicks fans, and I get it, some is just frustration. But the people who genuinely hate him, I don't think they understand how connected this group is. You know, Leon Rose, Thibodeau, Brunson, the Brunson family. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not going to. Jalen Brunson took the largest pay cut in professional sports history. If he says Tom Thibodeau's the coach, Tibbs is not getting fired.
That's it. Yep.
That's it. Matthew writes in with a super chat. The picks used to trade for Bridges are in middle school right now, but Gary thinks he won. Hashtag FTG. Yeah, I mean, like I think the Nets did very well with the Bridges trade, but it's already worth it for the Knicks. They got Mikal Bridges to beat Boston. They needed another wing to go with OG to guard Tatum and Brown. And what Bridges has been able to do on both ends of the floor, especially last night when they needed him to be the guy in that fourth quarter before Brunson came back in, worth it, man. Worth it. And shout out to Mikal, because it's not easy in this town when you're booed, when you're getting dumped all over, and to come out from that. That's why I only brought up Giancarlo Stanton and Edwin Diaz to an extent as well, as guys that were booed by their fan base, ripped to shreds, and were able to actually overcome that and turn things around.
And it's doubly difficult to do it in spurts. You know, he's a guy who was on the Nets, who it was a completely different role. So he comes here, he's asked to take on a different role, not be the main guy or even one of the main guys, it could be argued. You know, Cat's number 2 offensively. And then him and, Bridges and OG are tied for third, I would say. So, to do it in spurts and then know the moments when you're supposed to be the guy and it's starting to become end of third quarter, early fourth, while Brunson is out of the game, it's even that much more difficult. So, yeah, he's another throwback. He's another anti-analytics guy taking mid-range jumpers.
Which matters in the playoffs, man, because the defenses are tighter.
Mid-range jumpers these days.
No, be able to create your own shot, man. And Bridges, I saw some stat. He shot 48% on the year on those like mid-range kind of like floaters that he does when he gets in the paint and then fades. Like, he gets to that spot, it's automatic.
It's not. He makes it look easy. That's the other thing. Those are not easy shots. He's floating 5 feet one way or the other. So he's got a funky release, no doubt about it. Some of those threes don't look pretty. It's so pretty, like Wesley Snipes and White Men Can't Jump. But when he does it in the mid range, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I just shout out to Bridges, man. He was just awesome,
Mm-hmm.
and just Don't take for granted, Knicks fans, what Brunson's doing. I don't think we are. No. But that 18-point third quarter completely turned the game, man. And he was just in his bag last night. Every move. He go back and watch the NBA put out just a montage of just Brunson's points. Just the level of difficulty on some of the ways he had found a way to score against all world defenders, by the way. We're talking about 2 of the best in the league on ball guarding Brunson with, I hate to say it, but it felt like the Knicks season was on the line if they didn't win last night. You got Derek White and Drew Holiday on them. These guys are, combined and they have 8 all defensive NBA teams between them. Like, that's what Brunson was doing, man. He was cooking them. Unreal.
Yeah, Tatum. I mean, I guess Tatum's technically the 4 in their starting lineup. He's the power forward, so that's not big, and they don't have a big center. They play small, but Derek White and Drew Holiday aren't 6'1" like Brunson. They're 6'4". Their shortest guy 6. I think Holiday's 6'4", but yeah, they had a height advantage, and he still gets it done because of that big body Brunson of his.
Let's see. Chris Gordon says, Jay, come up with a nickname for Brunson and we'll all roll with it. There's so many out there already, Chris. You heard Sabo just refer to him as Big Body Brunson. That's what Kendrick Perkins calls him.
Yes, Perkins. Perkins is the guy. Yep.
People call him the captain or cap. I've heard towns refer to him as that. Brunson burner, I've heard. There's tons, man. I call him the best thing to happen to me as a Knicks fan in my lifetime.
It has to be, right? It has to be. Like, what were your earliest memories? Early 2000s, probably?
Yeah, they're like the Stephon Marbury teams, Eddie Curry, Ronaldo Balkman, Isaiah. Yeah, I remember the Knicks gave it. I remember the Knicks were like in the 8th seed for a day, and they gave Isaiah Thomas an extension. Like, that's how bad it was, man. Like,
the worst time capsule moment is when you go back and to that Isaiah presser before Game 1 of the playoffs in the first round, and he comes up to the mic and all dramatically says, "Welcome back to the playoffs." And it's just so.
And then they got swept by the Nets, right?
Yes.
I think that's my earliest memories.
3 straight. It's so cringy when you think about it now.
So bad. Yeah. Stephon Marbury, though, love that man. He was. He's like the Knicks mascot now. It's so funny.
You can't hate Marbury. He's
a good dude, man. He came on the show last year.
Did he really? Nice. He's got that fan innocence to him. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing with him. He doesn't think of himself big enough to where rooting and being a true fan, he can't do that. He does it, and that's a good thing.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. If you want a chance to win a Brunson jersey, that's our top prize, plus an Aaron Glenn signed jersey and a Curtis Martin signed jersey. And I might add another prize this afternoon, Nick related. Maybe we'll do an impromptu raffle at the end of the show. Shout out to Rick. He's in the raffle for one. A couple other super chats I want to get to here, and then we'll mix in a call or two with Robbie before we say goodbye. Cheats fan in the house. Go get that ring. Sucks what happened to Tatum, though. Get that ring for the Knicks. All the love, fam. You best get those last 9 wins for the ring. Cheats fan, we're trying.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Cincy Matt, Cat looked like he was on skates out there. They picked on him all night long.
Yeah.
Let me say this about Cat. I have never seen an all-NBA player get less calls and pick up more softer foul calls. I'm not saying Cat is blameless, but like it is like brutal how he's officiated, man. And Tibbs was furious at it, and I thought it was legit. Can you name me a guy that has been a starter in an all-star team, been an all-NBA player that gets less foul calls, less respect from officials than Karl Anthony Towns?
I think what hurts the Knicks stars in terms of not getting fouls, Brunson and Cat especially, is because they're the top 2 dogs, yet they score in ways that doesn't feature a quick first step. Like guys who have lightning first steps like Tatum, it triggers the official's mind. Like, man, he beat that dude right away. He beat him off the ball. He beat him off the spot. Going down the lane, you're gonna get calls more often in those scenarios. Brunson doesn't do it that way. That's not his game. In Cat, I guess Cat could do it that way against the center in a lot of ways when he gets moving downhill. But I think that hurts him. And he doesn't get the whistle. And Tibbs, if I'm Tibbs, I'm still screaming about that. And I'm going to do that all playoffs long.
Amen. Amen. Yeah. Hit the like button, baby. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. John B says, I partied out on 7th Avenue after the game last night. The smell of weed was thick, boy. I'd imagine it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that 7th Avenue weed is sticky.
The smell of victory is what I smelled leaving.
Yeah. That's a good bud right there.
Lewis says no one felt sad for the Knicks when they were piling up injuries last season too during the playoff. Yeah. It's part of it, man. No one's rooting for injuries, but that's unfortunately
it was near fictional too. Like what happened in that last series last year. My God, and then the Brunson thing. It was such a theatrical exit defeat that it only makes sense that they're making noise this year, 1 year after.
Show this to any Celtics fan who tries to use the Tatum injury as an excuse. They lost Anunoby in Game 2 against Indiana last year.
Yeah.
Remember they lost Brunson in Game 7. They were going to lose anyway, but
Mitch.
he broke his hand. Mitch was out. He was playing on one leg that whole series after the cheap bullshit by Embiid in round 1.
Yeah.
Randall obviously didn't play after late January of last year. And by the way, shout out to Julius Randle, man. He's been incredible for the Timberwolves during these playoffs. I'd love to see Knicks Wolves in the NBA Finals. That'd be insane.
I haven't watched much of the West. I got to be honest. How's Dante been with them too?
He's had moments, but Randall led him in scoring last night. He had a triple-double the previous game. He's been at his best with Minnesota in these playoffs.
Hey, man, that would be – I'll tell you what. Whoever wrote the script, that's a hell of a final right there.
Unreal. All right, let's open up the phone lines here. Comments, questions, super chats. They will continue to cut the line. First up today on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline is JT. What's up, JT?
Hey, sorry about that. I was just getting off work. I had to unmute. How we doing? Can you guys
What's
hear
up,
me?
JT?
What's
Yes,
up?
sir.
Awesome. First, I want to say prayers up to Oswaldo Cabrera. That was a nasty injury last night for him.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
sucks,
see it. What
dude.
happened?
He broke his ankle, man.
He crunched his ankle when he was doing that awkward slide into home. He was kind of trying to avoid a tag, so he kind of went to the right of home plate. And we went to go circle back to touch home plate. He just crunched his ankle underneath of him.
I'm gonna try
His ankle was sideways. It was ugly.
I'm gonna try to watch it.
He had to go to the hospital. You knew it was bad just on how
They brought the
everyone
ambulance on the
reacted.
field, the whole 9. Yeah, it was terrible. So prayers up to Oswaldo, and prayers up to Tatum as well. You never want to see somebody go down like that. You really don't.
No, and if he's out for all of
Oh.
next year, that you wonder what the Celtics do, because there was a lot of talk of he's watching the Cabrera injury.
I thought a catcher would have been involved for sure. My goodness.
It's just an awkward
just trying
slide.
to avoid he was just trying to avoid the tag, and he wound up just crunching his ankle when he was sliding.
That's a basketball injury.
The craziest thing about it is the fact that when he was getting into the ambulance, he asked Judge, "Did I score?"
Did he?
You gotta love that about him. I
Yeah,
love
it's pretty good.
Oswaldo. He's one of my favorite Yankees right now. Kid plays with heart.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as far as the Jets are concerned, man. Oh, what were you gonna say, Jake?
I was gonna say the Yankees are playing really well right now, which is encouraging.
Honestly, I hate these West Coast swings, but I'll take it if we're gonna win them. But we killed the Athletics. I was gonna say Oakland. We killed the Athletics. That was fun.
And they won a series against a really good Padres team, so they're playing good ball ahead of the Mets series. They got
It's a busy week, man.
Can't wait for that one.
yeah. Well,
excited for that.
selfishly, I'm hoping that the Knicks could win in 5, because when the schedule came out for the Celtics series, I saw that the first night of the Subway series was also the same night as Game 6 at MSG if necessary. So I'm like, oh god.
Yeah,
Jake,
we
how
got to
did
win in
How
5.
did you become a Yankees fan? Being a Jets fan and that
My
happened.
my uncle's from Rockland County, diehard Yankee fan, took me to my first game. My dad didn't really care for baseball. If he did, I would have been a Met fan easily, because my dad was all football, like Shea Stadium, Namath.
Right.
That's how like grandpa had season tickets. If my dad cared about baseball the way he cared about football, I would have been a Met fan. And I'm
See,
glad I'm not.
That's exactly with me too. Jets and Yankees because of my dad, but I lost my baseball fandom somewhere along the lines, and I don't know what happened. It's funny. My dad he was a diehard Yankees fan and got so sick of George, and as soon as George fired Buck, and it was ridiculous at the time, people lost their minds. Buck did not deserve to get fired. He vowed to hate the Yankees forevermore.
So you missed out on the dynasty.
And they win 4 out of 5. And he
Wow.
still hates them to this day. So I give him credit.
Joe Torre was hanging out last night.
after that.
Yeah. I don't know how you could flip on a dime like that, but it's one of those rare things where his passion hated George so much that he just flips. And he's still a diehard Rangers fan, Jets fan, just hates the Yankees.
Interesting.
Yep.
My dad's actually all California teams, so I couldn't roll with my dad's teams. I had to like local teams. My grandparents actually got me to some New York sports, though. Thankfully,
Mm-hmm.
I got to see my teams at home. But as far as the schedule release is concerned, I would absolutely love Carolina week 1, or Cleveland week 1, or the Patriots week 1.
Nice soft landing spot, baby.
I
Yeah.
think Carolina's a little underrated, but I think it's still a team we can handle. I think they're a little better than people are giving them credit for, honestly.
Who's that?
Carolina.
Carolina. I don't want New England, to be honest. I don't want Vrabel in week 1. It's not a crazy not want. I would just rather avoid it if possible.
Right, right. See, I don't know if it's going to be would be a better thing or a worse thing to play the Patriots first because you got that new coach factor in there, so you don't
Both.
know if the yeah, you don't know if yeah, true, both. You don't know if the culture is fully instilled there. I mean, I guess the same for us. So argument I'm making for them is argument for us. So I guess it's irrelevant, but
It would be
I
such
don't
a
know.
wild card game to me. Like it's so, and week one's like that anyway. But factor in two new coaching staffs on both sides, it would be such a. I don't think you can evaluate as much as you normally would otherwise.
Oh, I hear it. I would just love to trounce the Patriots to open up our year at home, just like we did last year. That was fun.
Yeah.
All right, Jets. Thank you. I'm gonna get back to work now. You guys have a good one. Jets, 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 Jets. Go New York, go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. How about this? I just saw, Robbie. I want to show this to you. The company that Jalen Brunson is in here. Really good graphic on ESPN. 30 points per game and 8 assists per game through their first 10 games of a postseason. Look at the names on this list with Brunson.
Dude, when the Big O is on there, there's only one guy who really doesn't belong. I got to be honest.
Harden.
Yeah.
That's it.
Harden's one of those guys I really am not a fan of. I never have been a fan of Harden, but still, that's a hell of a list.
Unreal. Fourth playoff game of 35-plus points and 10 assists with the Knicks, which is already his own franchise record he just extended last night.
And
26 of the second half, 18 of the third quarter. I'm giddy, man.
He doesn't force it. Part of the reason, not a major reason, but it's part of the reason the Knicks fall down early sometimes is Brunson doesn't force it. He's not as assertive. And yesterday was weird because the Knicks were so hesitant to shoot. Boston's D kept sagging and sagging and sagging, and they couldn't do much. And Brunson couldn't do much. But generally speaking, Brunson doesn't force it. Sometimes he's not assertive early, and he still finishes with those numbers.
Watch Game 5 at American Whiskey tomorrow night with me and some Asmaniacs. This was the flyer for Game 4, but all the drink specials still apply. $4 Bud Lights, $5 mint julep shots, $6 rotating beer and seltzer cans, $7 for house wine. Game 5 watch party tomorrow night if you're in the New York area, down the block from the Garden, so easy to get to. And then you best believe we'll be on 7th Avenue celebrating if the Knicks do, in fact, close out Boston tomorrow night. Indy Jets is in the Asmaniac raffle for one. Now, Indy, I know you are a Jet fan, but are you also a Pacers fan? Are we going to have Knicks Pacers, the Indy Jets rivalry there? I do wonder.
How about that, too? How poetic is it that it's going to be Indy in the East Finals?
The last two times the Knicks were in the conference finals, Indiana was there.
Yep, and those are the two, well, not 99, but 2000. Indy got the best of them. It's funny that the rivalries from the 90s, Knicks, you got the Heat, you got the Pacers, Bulls obviously owned them, but the Knicks owned the Heat for the most part. I think it was 3-1 in terms of series, Knicks over the Heat in that era. But Indy, I think it was 2-2 when they played each other.
Remember the one they lost to the Heat, though? They needed, the help of the commissioner's office to suspend Ewing and all the players.
PJ Brown. I still remember watching that game as a kid, losing my mind. I was so angry they lost that series because that team, that 97 team was legit. Like if there was any chance they had to dethrone Jordan and the Bulls, was that 97 team.
You know what? I've heard other people say that too. So there's something to that.
Oh, dude. Starks coming off the bench as a sixth man of the year. Houston was there with Ewing still had enough. In 99, Ewing was holding them back. They were not better with Ewing on the floor. So his injury was a blessing in disguise. But 97, he still had enough.
Robbie, all the love, man. Appreciate you coming on.
You got it, brother. We'll chat soon.
Now, where can people find Knicks content in addition to Jets content?
KnicksXFactor.com. But still, hey, JetsXFactor.com is doing that thing, of course, still too. I'm gonna have a Arian Smith film breakdown soon at Jets X Factor, and the Knicks X Factor is linked in the menu. You'll see it, nice and colorful. So check out both.
Go Knicks, Robbie. Appreciate you.
You got it. See ya.
Robby Sabo joining us, weekly spot. A lot of Jets and Knicks talk today, and that's what I think is so cool about the Knicks being good, because we don't have this with the other teams where, like, if I talk about the Yankees, half the audience, you're going to be a Met fan. If I talk about the Islanders, most of you are going to be Rangers fans or Devils fans. The Knicks are the only team, and I know there's Nets fans out there, but 90 to 95% of the tri-state don't work for the Brooklyn Nets. It's just a fact. And they had a brutal night last night in the lottery. All this talk about tanking for Cooper Flag and they're picking 8th. That's why F them picks when it comes to the Mikal Bridges trade. Who cares? Trying to win a championship right now. That's the goal. Bo C in the raffle for 10. Bo on the show last week won a signed Wayne Corbett jersey, which I emailed Bo this morning. It's arriving today. Bo, you're the man. Let's go.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
The following 10 people are channel members now. David Ayala, Mackenzie Bates, AB Baby, Jay Savage, David White, John Zelli, Ohana, Steve Gruden, Daniel Ruth, Philip Rinaldi, all receiving channel memberships. And my confirmation is indeed right. Indy Jets is, in fact, a Pacer fan, which I respect. If I win the Brunson jersey, it's up for sale right away. Let's go Pacers. Close this out tonight. Exchange it for a Reggie Miller jersey. And by the way, TNT has the East Conference Finals this year, so that means we get Reggie Miller, Knick fans. Ugh. Can we trade Kevin Harlan for Mike Breen so at least it's even? I'm glad Breen got to do that game last night, by the way. Biggest Knick win in 25 years. I'm glad that he was on the call. Clyde was there too, sitting courtside with the other Knicks alumni. Also, anyone saying that the Jets Week 1 opponent has been announced, stop spreading false information. It has not been at this point. As of 11:42 a.m., that has not been leaked. So if I see you spreading that, the mods are going to throw you in timeout so people don't get confused. All right. Let's get to your calls now, shall we? More of your calls. Appreciate everyone who wants in. Radical Bongos is on the line. Radical, go ahead. You start us off this segment.
Hey, Jake, I just want to just the resiliency of the Knicks is since the beginning of the series, they've just been counted out, and then coming off a loss, it just shows how tough-minded this team is and how much they want it. It's really honorable to see, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see this game Wednesday. Wednesday they play, right?
They play Wednesday, tomorrow night. Yep, game 5.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's close it out. Go on to the Pacers. But I have a question about. Did you see that Amazon is releasing like a 6-part like docuseries on the Jets season last year? Have you seen that?
Oh, I'm glad you brought this up. So I've had to. It's funny.
What's that about?
I've had to sit on this for a while. So I didn't know which players they were featuring, but I had a feeling. So a while ago, they reached out to me because they wanted to use clips from my show. Now, Netflix did the same thing for the Rodgers doc, and they ended up not using a single thing of mine, even though I had to sign all these waivers and waste my time. So, yeah, very annoying. But this wasn't so bad. I spoke to one of the people that was working on the doc. They were following a bunch of Jet players last year, and I was like, God, people are going to just rip the Jets when this comes out after that nightmare of a year. One of the players they're following is AVT. So I just want to get out in front of this. I love AVT. I wanted to be a Jet for a long time. One of the clips I had to sign off on them using is me ripping the Jets offensive line after the Denver Broncos debacle. It was like someone was like, yeah, this was a disaster. And I said on the show on the post game that day, and I'm like, everyone was horrible today, AVT included. And they're profiling AVT. So my voice shitting on one of our better players is apparently going to be featured in this Amazon doc. So I want to get out in front of it. I'm an Elijah Vera Tucker fan. But that is one of the clips I had to sign off on for them to use with credit. So we'll see if it actually makes the doc. But I've known about this doc for a couple months already. And I agreed to not say anything. But now that it's out officially, I can talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. It's going to be interesting. I wonder if we're going to learn anything new, or is it just, going to bring up old wounds. But yeah, no, Jake, I just want to say thanks to the show, and appreciate all Jets Nation out there, and you should just enjoy your day.
I appreciate it, Radical. Good call. And let's go, man. Yeah, that Amazon, I mean, I'll watch it, I guess. I don't know what other players they profiled, though. I know ABT is one of them. More of your calls right now. Adam is too cool. Live from vacation. Adam, I know you're a Celtics guy, but we respect you on this show. How are you? I guess not well. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is someone around these parts that we love. And we love when his intro plays because it means we all get to sing along.
What's up, Jake?
What's up, Kyle?
So it's just audio on the Amazon Prime, right?
I think there's video.
Really?
I had to agree to audio and video, so I don't know what. And I don't. And yeah, I'm not even sure when it appears. I just know that I had to sign a bunch of waivers and stuff.
I would have went and had my hair done.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you weren't in the clip from what I remember. Good. It was. I don't even think I had it. It was a comment I was responding to. It was a super chat on a post-game show was the clip.
All right. Good. So yeah, I'm just curious about the schedule. I'm hoping that some of these more desirable games desirable away games will be later in the schedule, like New Orleans, like Jacksonville. Those are two locations that we've never really been to with my group as a group. I've been to the Superdome to see a game before. It was a Sunday night game that I just happened to be in New Orleans for, and a friend of mine got me tickets. And I've been to the Dolphins Stadium for actually a Dolphins-Patriots game for a bachelor party.
Wow.
And I've been to the Tampa Stadium. But I've never been to Jacksonville, and I get the impression that stadium is kind of cool. So I'd like to give it a shot. My guys are hard to get to go unless it's like mid-October on, because they don't want to leave the beach. It's kind of like we got to pick our spots. Great game last night from the Knicks. And there's nothing that you could. This is just a fact of life about Tatum, right? There's nothing anyone can do about it. It happens to every team. It's unfortunate.
Happened to the Knicks last year.
Yeah. It happened to the Knicks last year. It's a little bit more stark because this is probably their absolute best player and an absolute devastating injury. It's probably the equivalent of what happened to us with Rodgers, right?
Yeah, but at least they have a championship to show for. We got 4 plays of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, but I guess in the sense that we're depending so heavily on this one player. I don't know enough about the Pacers, and I hate to kind of look ahead a little bit about this, other than I know Halliburton kind of makes it all go, but that is an all-time Eastern Conference rivalry, and I'm here for it. So let's see if we can close this out in the coming days and get to it, because I think that's something to look forward to if we can get to the finals and play the Timberwolves and see who actually won that trade.
Home court in the finals too, if they play Indiana, or in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Eastern Conference Finals, yeah, I know it's crazy. It's going to make for a tremendous spring.
Yeah, Indiana's really good. They're really well coached. Carlisle's won a championship, and they're scrappy, man. They're annoying. But the Knicks are. If knock on wood that the Knicks don't suffer any catastrophic injuries in Game 5, and they can end this series and get some rest. But like they beat Indiana last year. If OG doesn't injure his hamstring in Game 2, like it changed everything. And they already didn't have Randall. They didn't have a healthy Hart, Robinson. It was brutal, man. I was at that Game 7 last year, and like the Knicks fans, we gave them a standing ovation because we just knew they were just out of gas. There was nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, I don't follow the NBA as closely as I possibly could until playoff time, but I get the impression that the Knicks are more talented.
They'd be a favorite, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate your time, Jake.
Kyle, we appreciate you calling in always, man. Good stuff from Kyle there. Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Bo with a super chat here. Jake, it just proves you're a true Jet fan. All of us have ripped on our Jets for one reason or another. Just wish they'd have captured you praising. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen the doc yet. I just know that clip is in there. And I had a feeling when I was agreeing to it that AVT was one of the players because I was like, why would they pick a random post-game line from a debacle of a game where, like, I talked about one aspect of it. Like, the rant from the Denver game was all about the coach and Hackett and Zerline missing the kick and Tyron Smith. I barely touched on AVT, but that's the one clip they pulled. So I'm like, oh, God. Whatever. AVT's a big boy. He'll handle it. Let's get to more of your calls now, shall we? Indy Jets is on the line. Hello, Indy. Goodbye,
Hey.
Indy. I mean, that was the delay of all delays there, Indy. Call back because that was not going to work. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster hotline right now is another legend of the program, Ricky NY.
I'm Ricky, New York, and I love to smoke. Florida State, I really love Florida State. Jordan Travis, you know he's from Florida State. At any rate, I call into smoking debate. Florida State, I really love Florida State. At any rate, thanks for taking my call, Jake.
Ricky.
Hey, how's it going, Jake? You know what? I know that I'm really looking forward to watching that doc now.
Yeah.
I know you said you wanted to get out in front of it, but Jake, we like you because you call it like you see it. If something's good, you're going to let us know. If something doesn't look good, you're going to let us know. And we appreciate it. That being said, though, Aaron Glenn is our coach. He's a defensive coach, and he loves his DBs. We need to get you an invite for rookie camp because that back pedal was tremendous.
Which one?
Yeah. When you wanted to get out ahead of it.
Oh yeah,
don't get out ahead of it.
I guess you could call it a back pedal if you want. I figured I'd give the context. Yeah, like I know that they were doing this Amazon thing, and I figured, and they didn't tell me which players, but I assumed when I signed off on a cut from the show where I criticized the O-line and said even AVT had a bad game, that they were gonna probably feature AVT. So I figured I've been sitting on this for a while. I was wondering when they were going to announce it because I was originally told that they were going to air it in the summer, and I'm like, it's already May 13th. When is this coming?
Right. It makes me wonder if they've seen your Jacksonville post game rant because there were definitely some doozies in that one, man. That one went nuclear.
Oh my God.
And I know that people like when you give a good rant, but you know what? I like it even better when we're sitting here smoking and doing shots of Henny because we just kicked somebody's ass.
Yeah, man. Look how much fun we were having with the Knicks, Ricky.
Than ranting about a loss any day of the week. Oh, hell yeah. You know, and good. Tomorrow night, put that thing away, close that chapter, and get the last of these Celtic fans. Awful. Boston fans are the worst. At any rate, I just called in real quick to say hello, and I'm calling on behalf of myself and Jets Johnny and Pagan Artie and Frank C and JoJo and Peter Castro and Ted and Gator and everybody else down here in Florida saying, we'll see you this season. Everybody send in their super chats and let's assault Tampa requests.
I love it. Appreciate you, Ricky. I would love to do Tampa. It's just going to depend on the dates, right? That's it. Does it fall on a holiday? Is it prime time? Is it on a day where I have a wedding already or another prior commitment? I would say for those who are interested in the road game meetups, I'm going to try and do two. I'm going to try and do London, schedule permitting, and I'm going to try and do either Tampa or New Orleans. And then maybe either, and with also considering Miami, depending on the date, because it's easy for people to get to South Florida. And then Jacksonville's not bad either. Because my third most viewed state is Florida. So obviously doing a meetup in Florida would be easy for a lot of people to just drive to. But depends on the schedule, which we could have by tonight. It could get leaked tonight. Chris says, break down the Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Championship. Chris, I don't know if you just tuned in, but we did Jets at the beginning and a lot of Knicks after that. We've been talking about it all morning, man. Rewind. Let's go, baby. Come on.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
I mean, this Knicks team is great. Everyone's excited. And, like, that's what I hope one day the Jets could do because this fan base deserves it so much. So much. It's just we're tired of all the losing. And this Knicks team, it's so cool because the coach was here the last time they were good. The assistant coach was on the team the last time they were any good. The star players connected to those guys. Justin Diamond, who watches this show, big Jets guy, Yankees fan as well, he tweeted the Larry Johnson 4-point play. Look at the angle here, right? So I'll roll it back from the top. Notice you could see Tom Thibodeau as an assistant and Rick Brunson as a player on the Knicks celebrating the LJ shot. Thibodeau's on the right, and then you see Brunson. So, pretty sick, man. LJ, of course, there last night, as he always is. By the way, it's funny. I think a lot of people watching the show maybe don't realize they're on delay. So people are commenting on things, and it's like, wait a second, I'm an hour behind. So keep that in mind. All right, more of your calls right now. I heard this guy screaming and yelling early this morning on the radio on DiPietro and Rothenberg. Purple Belt Mike is up next. What's up, Mike?
Let's go Knicks, baby. Let's go Knicks. Yeah, baby. That was an awesome win. That was awesome. What a win. For our guys, this city, we deserve it. The only team that could unite the entire city, the tri-state area, is the Knicks. And you know what? We're destined. We're destined to do big things this year, baby.
Why not, man? Why not? I mean, they have the path. They have the best odds to get out of the East. They get to the finals at that point. All bets are off. And that's been my biggest thing during these playoffs. If you get it to the fourth quarter tight, you feel like you're going to win the game. Very few teams have that player where you feel that way.
The difference between the Celtics and the Knicks are we have Jalen Brunson and they don't. That's our guy right there. That's our guy.
We waited a long time for a player like that, man. He's unbelievable.
I honestly never thought, rooting for my teams and whatever, that the first team that I really think is going to win a championship is going to be the Knicks. But that's what it looks like. And so be it. Hopefully, Woody Johnson is looking at it and seeing, maybe having someone like a Leon Rose or whatever in place might be a good idea to get this team turned around. But we'll see, man. Hopefully the Knicks' fortunes can spread over to the Jets and we have a really good 2025.
It'd be nice, Mike. We are due. At least the Jet fan who also roots for the Knicks is getting this because this is incredibly deserving, and it does provide hope for the Jets because for a long time the Knicks were run way worse than the Jets ever were. Way worse.
Yep. All right, I got to go to this dermatology appointment, so I will catch you later.
How did your dog like the pet bowl, by the way, that you bought from the merch store? Shout out to you for that.
So my outdoor room, That's we needed a new dog bowl there because the one that I got her before has like all kinds of shit in it. So I need to get her a new one. And then I was just on your website, just browsing around, and I saw that you had a dog bowl. I'm like, hell yeah! So I got it, and she drank out of it already. She loves it.
Hell yeah.
So
Love it. Shout out to
it's doing
Maui.
its job. Yeah, hell yeah. Did you see the picture I sent of her with all her Knicks shit on?
I did,
yesterday?
yeah. My phone, I wasn't like checking my text during the game. I forgot to respond.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Love
All right,
it,
I'm
man.
gonna be late, so I gotta go. I'll catch you later.
You got it, Mike. Appreciate you. Great call. PBM checking in. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll be at American Whiskey tomorrow, right next to the Garden. If you want to watch Game 5 with a bunch of ASMANIACS. Bunch of drink specials. Can't wait. What do I want to pull up here? Oh, update on our next channel emoji. So we're going to try and get a Chef Kevin emoji made. The first submission for the Chef Kevin emoji has arrived courtesy of listener Joe Mike. Chat, what do we think? The Chef Kevin emoji. If anyone wants to submit one, email me at AsmanJake. Just look up what the size specifications are for YouTube. So check it out. Shout out to Chef Kevin and thank you to Joe Mike for sending the first one in. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to more of your calls, we pause and acknowledge the greatness of Mimosa. She's in the Asmaniac raffle for 10.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
Thank you, Mimosa. You're awesome. Eddie, Lindo, Trill, Boba Jet, Multivols, Rayhan C, Robert Van Arnberg, NYJ92, Skip Money, B Stokes, Sean Johnson, all receiving channel memberships. Let's go. That will help us get our next emoji. Mimosa's message after gifting a membership. Go Knicks. Amen. More calls right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is...
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he no sleeping. Adios mio.
What's up, Jay? How you doing?
What's up, B-Man? I'm great.
You're just repping the Knicks after that win, you know. I agree with you. Don't want to ever see anybody get hurt. It happened, you know. I was in a bar and I was in San Juan watching that Pacers series, that Knicks Pacers series last year, and everybody was just dropping like flies and nobody shed a tear for us, so I will not shed a tear.
It's part of sports. Obviously, you know, it sucks that if it is, you know, an Achilles or something that serious, he's out for the year. But look, I mean, like no one felt bad for the Knicks when they lost all their good players in their playoff series last year. It's part of it.
You know what I was gonna say? I don't know if you know this, but it's like you ever see the Pixar movie Soul?
I have actually, yeah.
So then you know it's like you remember the Knicks joke they had in there, right?
Yeah.
It's like ever since that Knicks joke, this team has completely flipped 180 degrees.
I was hoping after Ted Lasso made fun of the Jets in season 1, it would flip with the Jets too, but that hasn't happened yet.
Oh yeah, you know, well, it's because like I said, it's like I said in the movie, Tina Fey's character is no longer there to mess with the Knicks.
She was there last night too.
That's great. Yeah, no. Yeah, like I said, obviously, you know what I said earlier yesterday, that my preferred teams are playing. It was let's see, the Saints, and then Saints, Panthers, Patriots are the teams I wanted to play.
You want the Patriots at home week 1, or you want to go to their place?
Nah, come on, let's go home. Let's start off home, man. We started off on the road last year anyway, so I preference a home game.
Yeah, let's get off to a good start. I like it.
You know, rest of the season with a win. You know, introduce the Aaron Glenn era positively.
I'm with it.
Yeah, no, it's like, and then, I'm looking at the London game. It's like we got to go back to London again. This could be
Are
interesting.
you coming to London this year, V-Man?
No, I don't
Why
have money
not?
for that. I don't have
Are
money.
you anti-British people?
No, I love the English.
Do you?
Yeah, no, I got nothing wrong with the English.
Who would you have rooted for in the American Revolution?
You're gonna really ask me that?
I am, yes.
No, I'm not gonna root for the English.
I don't know.
I'm not
I
gonna
heard
root for the English.
I heard you would have been a British loyalist. Is that not true?
No, come on. I'm Catholic. You think I'm gonna root for a bunch of Protestants?
No taxation without representation. Would you be yelling that?
Probably. Like I said, I wouldn't be like I have no problem with the English now, but like back then, like when they were basically, like 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 tormenting the Irish Catholics back then. So
Are you a
like
redcoat?
no,
Okay.
no. Like I said, like why would I join? Why would I like be with people who are like who basically like would be tormenting people like me? Because did you ever like they treated the Irish like crap? They treat Irish and Catholics like crap back in those days. The British did. So why would I support people who treated people of my own faith miserably?
So let's say I was putting together a group of people to throw tea into the river in Boston. Would you have joined me?
Yeah.
Or was it a river or was it the ocean in Boston? I guess it was the ocean.
It was the harbor.
Oh, that's right. It was the Boston Harbor. Yep.
Yeah.
I could see you being a pretty good musket shooter, man.
I've hung out with a couple of, I've visited some of those reenactment things over the years.
You remind me of Mel Gibson in the movie The Patriot.
Come on, can we do like a better I'm like
Heath
do
Ledger?
better oh yeah, Heath Ledger. I got no problem. I love Heath Ledger. I mean, still miss the man like dearly. Like, God, taken way too soon. Should have been there to accept his Oscar.
I agree.
Well, I think I think we spend more time talking everything but Jets football on a YouTube channel for Jets football. It's just
I talked about the schedule for a while.
Yeah, true. But it's like we're spending more time talking about the Knicks because obviously the Knicks are the hottest thing happening right now.
That's all people want to talk about right now. The people, and I give the people what they want, B-man.
That's true. You are a man of the people.
Did you have to work the overnight shift last night?
No, but I'll probably be heading into work. I gotta head into work tomorrow night. So if the Knicks do win, I can like the Garden. I have to walk past the Garden, obviously, to get to Hudson Yards. So if the Knicks do win, I'll try to maybe stroll by.
Come to American Whiskey, V-man. Stop by before.
No, because I said I'd probably not, because like I said, I didn't. If I were to do that, I would have had to have left my, like suit and everything at work. I'm not gonna stop there and in my work stuff and get it all and risk getting it all messy.
I see. Well, if you change your mind, you let us know, all right?
All right. Well, hopefully have a good time there, and let's hope we get one step closer to the NBA Finals.
V-man, from your lips to God's ears.
Hey, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Speaking of God, it's fair to say that there might be finally a higher power watching over one of our teams. In Pope Leo, a proud Villanova graduate we trust. Jay writes in any new Venmo request from Charles. So for those who missed it yesterday, Charles was back to his old ways. He requested $20 for lunch over Venmo and then canceled the request after I didn't answer right away, and then tried to call me, and he left me this voice message that I shared on the show. If you missed it, here's the message from Mr. Gormani himself.
Hey, Jake, it's me, Charles. Hope all is well with you and your family. Hope you and your mom had a wonderful Mother's Day. I'm sorry for the Venmo request. That was stupid by my part. Hope you're not too pissed at me. Have a good day. Okay, bye-bye.
So that was from Gorman yesterday. Charles since has not requested any more money from me. But that doesn't mean Gator wasn't in the lab making this.
Gormani needs some cash. Gormani's broke. I can't keep buying smash burgers for myself. Who's gonna pay my rent? And you know I need $1,000 for that catfish chick. So if any of you guys wanna contribute, I would love that. But my wallet is empty and it smells like farts.
Excuse me. Unreal. By the way, Purple Belt Mike just confirmed what was reported yesterday, that Charles did, in fact, get back all the money that he was frauded. So he actually made out plus 800 from the Asmaniacs. And he still had the audacity to ask me for $20 yesterday. Unreal. JT wanted to know in the chat, as Charles called in recently. He called in yesterday, JT, so check the second show out. Charles the Scammer Gorman. That's what I'm calling him. Scam artist, Charles Gorman. PBM says, according to Charles, he did. I don't know other than that. Unbelievable. Unreal what is happening here. Jay's calling it Gorman Gate. Radical, I'm disappointed in Charles. Boomtown, but Jake, he needed money for his empty apartment. What a world we live in, folks. Tom Ace, the Gormani scheme. Charles got some explaining to do to the people. No other way around it. Jet Nation, do I think the Jets have done irreparable damage to the fans? I think they have from this standpoint. Normally, we as fans are pretty optimistic in the offseason and optimistic going into the year. And while eventually I think people who are maybe down or negative will turn, not as many will. And that's where the irreparable damage is. But that could change if they win. And the Knicks are the best example of that. They got to turn it around, though. Tom Ace, Asmaniac funded lifestyle. Purple Belt Mike. Gormani's part of the mafia. Nate, Charles Madoff. This is probably the biggest scheme to rock the tri-state since Bernie Madoff. Bonesy, great comment, but I will not read it. All right. We're going to wrap up here shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time today, we check in with this guy.
What's up, New York City? Are we ready to party tomorrow night? I want to hear it loud. I want to hear it clear. We are going to do it tomorrow night, baby. We're going to bitch slap, Boston. We're going to take them out back and shoot every single one and tell them, hey, wrong house, wrong time. You're in our house at 7th Avenue. Get the party line ready because you know what, baby? We're going to do turn up the party, turn up the party. We're going to party like it's 1999, baby. Woo! And you know what? Let's get this party started. K-N-I-C-K.
Beast, how did you just spell Knicks? K-A-I?
No. K-N-I-C-K. Go Knicks, baby! Baby! Chico! Ha!
Why are you wearing a Ranger shirt after a Knick win?
Well, this, and this. It's a mixture. We're gonna have a mix and match. Plus, I'm going out to my old high school today to do some filming.
Filming? What are you filming?
I'm going by Curie High School to do a little filming called "Hey, you want to see the best? Hey, you got the best right here. Curie Metro High School, where a king like me went here, turned this place around, and hey, now 21 years later, look who's dominating the world now, son. And get ready because there's more surprises coming your way. And hey, Boston, you could kiss. You know what? This right here, Jack. Take it to the bank because we are more money than you. And Robert Kraft, you can kiss our ass because New York City is our house. We got the stuff you don't. And you know what, baby? We got the money. We got the hustle. You don't got nothing. We got it. You don't. Take it to the bank, Jacko.
Now, Beast, I get new listeners all the time. So for those not familiar with how you're, quote, dominating the world, what would you say to them?
Hey, I've been doing this for a long time because rule one, let me just say this for everybody's sake. 23 national, 29 international, 35 gone global because you put the hard work in. You know how you put the hard work in? You go blood, you go sweat, you go tears, and you work very hard until you can't take it anymore. And Charles, we're going to get you a job, boy, because I'll tell you this. You know, sure, I don't ask Jake for one thing because you know what? That's not me. That's not me, kid. You got to get off your ass and try. Try at least. Come on, man. I mean, come on. You had a lot of people donating to you. Come on, Charles. You can do better than this. I believe in you, kid. You got an apartment. Let's get you off your ass and move it. Come on, son. I mean, I don't ask for a hell of a lot myself, but you know what? I do things on my own like a man. Because let me just say this. It doesn't take a big man to get your ass out of bed. It doesn't take a job to do anything else. And it doesn't do anything else but sit on your ass. You want to get off your ass, put your shoes on, get outside, and do something for a change. Come on, man. Just because you're on disability, hey, I'm doing the same thing too. But am I sitting around complaining? No. I do things my way. The hard way. The hard way is called get up, fight, bleed, scratch, do what you need to do, put money back in the bank, and do what you need to do to survive. Am I not right, Jake?
Absolutely, Beast. Boomtown writes in, someone named Robbie Reesley reached out to me on Instagram and said he has incriminating...
That sounds like a fake Bobby Beasley account. I smell, in the words of the great Bonesy, I smell bullshit from a mile away. Don't trust that, Mr. Boomtown. I know what that man's all about. Don't think I can catch him. It's called, you got to watch that stuff, son. It's called grifters, liars, thieves, clowns, suckers. Don't trust a sucker. It's like when Charles Gorman got catfished. Don't fall for it, kid. Think this, not the other way around. Charles, let me get you a job, kid. I'll get you a job. You want to cut grass and make at least a few bucks? Come on, son. Put your shoes on, get your ass out there, put some gas in the mower, and pump the goddamn thing up.
Hey, Beast, before we let you go, can you give us a little Jalen Brunson crossover, Jay, like what he did last night?
Put the music on. Go, New York, go, New York.
Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Go, New York, go, New York, go.
See ya. Wham! Bam! Ah!
Hey, Beast, now I need the OG dunk off the steal that really kind of just locked up the game, secured the dub.
Wham! Ah!
That's exactly what it looked like. Nailed it.
Go, New York, go, New York, go. Go, New York, go, New York, go.
I mean, that was spot. I was at the game last night. That's exact. I saw OG after he dunked that. He started just wailing on Jaylen Brown. I couldn't believe it. Tom A says, my ankles got broken just from looking at the display of athleticism. Mine too. Ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap, let's give some love to Jenergy. Jenergy, let's watch the Knicks together tomorrow. Come to American Whiskey. I know you were at a watch party with Cynthia the other day. Jenergy, the pride of the Bronx. I need that Brunson jersey more than Lowski needs Gorman's chicken soup. The real Jenny from the block is Jenergy. Let's go. She's in the raffle for 10. Boom. Mike Brain bang. Bang! Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to Jenergy for always supporting the show. Unbelievable. All right, what a show. We're going to be back this afternoon. Hopefully there's more schedule stuff to hit on. We'll certainly talk more about the Knicks. I want to thank all of you who support this show. What a night it was last night for all the Knick Jet fans out there. And hopefully there's more to come, man. Wow. Great show. Again, thank you all. We'll talk to you soon. Go Jets, everybody.
Gormani needs some cash. Gormani's broke. I can't keep buying smash burgers for myself. Who's gonna pay my rent? And you know I need $1,000 for that catfish chick. So if any of you guys wanna contribute, I would love that. But my wallet is empty and it smells like farts.
Excuse me.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
How you guys doing tonight? We're ready. Are we ready? Are we ready to fuck freaking party? Get
You get the fuck out.